Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about Melanotan II, which is a compound that's been used by bodybuilders for a while now. Okay, so what is Melanotan II? It's an illegal analog of alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone, which for those who don't know is a natural hormone that exists within your body. And an analog is like a spliced version of it. And alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone affects your body's production of melanin and causes the skin to darken. So, as an analog of that, it basically mimics the action. Um, Currently, there's an FDA approved analog of this hormone called Melanotan I, which is also known as alpha melanotide, and it's used to treat people with photosensitivity disorders, which cause them to burn easily in the sun. I think albinos are prescribed normally. Melanotan 1 has been shown to be safe and effective for this use, but there's no evidence that it causes skin cancer in vitro or in vivo, which is why it's FDA approved. However, there is conflicting evidence for Melanotan 2. It's been theorized recently that Melanotan 2 and its antioxidant effects, it might actually protect against skin cancer, but there's recent case studies that suggest otherwise. The theory on how Melanotan 2 can cause cancer is it directly stimulates melanocytes to produce more melanin, and the overactivation or stimulation excessively of these melanocytes could cause DNA damage and abnormal cell proliferation. So, obviously, if this is done to melanocytes, there is the risk of melanoma. There is, in fact, quite a few case reports. I think there's 4 on melanoma associated with Melanotan 2. It's important to note that case reports rank at the very bottom of the scientific hierarchy of evidence. However, when you combined them with the existing theoretical link between Melanotan 2 and melanoma, I don't think it's worth the risk of darker skin. However, it's important to point out that being out in the sun to tan also has, quite a strong risk with melanoma development. So, if you're gonna tan, it's a bit there's a bit of a debate between people about whether using this is actually more safe for melanoma. I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm just trying to dispel some myths about it. One thing to note is your genetic predispositions. Certain gene variants, such as the MC1R variant, which is found mostly in redhead individuals, it will increase your sensitivity to sun damage and also is strongly associated with melanoma risk. To elucidate this, you can do some genetic testing to identify your predispositions to skin cancer. But if you're unwilling to undergo it, you can just look at your family history, which although it's not as precise as genetic testing, examining the causes of death and health conditions of your family members can show you what genetic risks you have the potential to face. Sun protection and limiting skin exposure. Limiting sun exposure will definitely reduce your risk of melanoma if you decide to use Melanotan 2. There are other risk factors for skin cancer besides Melanotan 2, and combining them together might synergistically increase your risk of melanoma. So using Melanotan 2 with something that increases IGF-1 levels to super therapeutic levels could very highly increase your risk for melanoma. So compounds that increase your IGF-1 risk, that increase your IGF-1 levels are IGF-1, LR3, and other analogs, growth hormone secretagogues, growth hormone releasing hormone, what are they called? Like GHRP6 and all them. CJC 1295, growth hormone administration, and yeah, anything that will increase growth hormone or IGF-1 levels, because IGF-1 is associated strongly with specifically skin cancer. So these are not two things you want to combine together. High IGF-1 levels are often seen in bodybuilding due to diets, exercise regimens, and anabolic steroids, growth hormone, and insulin, which themselves increase aging and cancer risks. So it's important to understand that if you're using any of these, you're at an increased risk of melanoma. My concluding thoughts are Melanotan II might seem at first a way to get a tan without sun exposure and the potential risks of sun exposure, but it actually does also carry these risks. So yeah, limit your exposure to the sun, especially if you're taking something like this, and also understand your genetic predispositions. Thank you. If you'd like to read more, you can check out the blog article. It's listed in the description below, and you can also book a consultation on the same website.